Hey guys, welcome back to the channel here. So today we're going to be messing with this headlight. So this is a 2017 to 2019 LED OEM headlight. A friend of mine brought this to me, said that the lower corner LEDs are out. So we're going to try opening this up today and seeing if we can figure out why the DRL is out. So we have the oven preheated to 225 degrees. We have to take this little panel off of here yet. So that's a T25 Torx, and that holds this on. And then there's going to be some clips back here that we're going to have to work off of here. So we'll go ahead and get those worked off.
Squeeze them. All right. So I'll put this back over for you here.
You can see that takes this little plastic cover off. So take that off, set it to the side. And then we're going to go ahead and put this in the oven. So they call these PermaSeal. It's because the sealant they use is supposed to be permanent and not open up. So we're going to go ahead, put this in the oven for 15 or 20 minutes and pull it back out and try to start working this edge around. Okay, so 15 minutes have passed. Pull this guy out. We'll see if it's warm enough yet. So you're going to start by trying to bend these tabs out and away. It is plastic and pliable, so it will bend a little bit. You want to just try to not break them. And then there's none along the outside edge. So when you start peeling these open, you want to peel them from this side first. So as you can see, this glue is a little bit soft here. Just try to separate it from the lens as best you can with a screwdriver or a knife. Because ideally you want to have this lens free of glue. All right, so we went around this once. And basically, you want to have to try to get this glue freed up and away from the lens. So we're going to go ahead and put this back in for a little bit longer and re-soften it up. It's gotten a little bit cool. So as you can see, I've been holding on to it so it's not real hot. All right, they've been back in the oven again. So we're going to see if we can get this thing off of here. So I ended up cutting some of the sealant off here and trying to get it to let go of it. So you can see it's still got a pretty good hold of it.
See if we can get this side loosened up.
Just keep working your screwdriver in and twisting it up. So some of this stuff doesn't want to come off naturally. It's permaseal for a reason. So what's nice about having this tool here with the rubber bumper, put that rubber bumper right against this edge. If you do deform any of this plastic though, if you heat it back up when you're all done, you can shape it back into its form. So I said originally I wanted to open it up this way. I don't know if that's going to be possible just because there's so much glue on that side. We might end up trying to get it from this side or this side. It really just depends on how it wants to come apart. So the only thing I try to do is I try to not start on a leading edge where you can actually see the headlight. Some of this is actually hidden by the fender, but I know this is definitely hidden by the hood. This is hidden by the bumper, and there's a plastic piece here that hides this. So you want to try to make sure that when you start prying these open, it can be a real bear. So as you can see, this thing does not want to come off. Tell you what, Ford really glued these babies on here good. This might take a lot longer than I expected. So once again, back in the oven. Still trying to get this stupid thing to open up here, and it's just not having it. All right, so this thing has been in and out of the oven like 10 times, and we are finally getting somewhere here. As you can see, it is starting to separate. Okay, there are two 5mm screws on this side that need to come out, and I am currently just trying to get my way around the front of this headlight. So I started in the far corner here by the marker light, and I was able to get a screwdriver underneath like this and pry up on it, and just slowly worked my way around. Now, this has been a 2 screwdriver process, and it is miserable. So you can see here I have everything separated all the way around except for this area here, which is proving to be the most difficult for some reason. Now I am doing a very bad job at this. These things are very, very difficult to get apart. So I am mangling this plastic pretty bad. However, once you get this all separated, you can actually put this back in the oven again and heat it up and form it back into its original shape, which is what's nice about plastic. And if you did end up cracking any places, you can actually use a soldering iron to melt them back together, or a hot tip, get it back into shape there so you don't have any leaks.
It's one corner, just doesn't want to come out.
When they say these are perma-sealed, they're not kidding. So once you get this opened up here, you can see I've pretty much done a mess of this seal here, but we'll be cleaning most of this glue off. So our main concern is with this guy here. So we're going to go ahead and unplug this and figure out what's wrong with this LED. All right, so this is the reason we have this headlight tore apart. As you can see, the LEDs are not working on this bottom corner. So we're going to be trying to figure out why. These are heat tabbed onto the back of the reflector here. So you have to cut those off and you will have to epoxy new ones on. So I wanted to show you guys the inside of these headlights and see how they actually do look inside. Because a lot of guys say these are not serviceable. However, I can see why. I have a couple hours in trying to get this headlight opened up, and we're going to have to give it a little bit of love to get it back formed into shape again and clean all the glue off everything before we reseal this. However, there's no point in doing that if we can't fix these LEDs. So I wanted to show you guys while we took this headlight apart and show you what's inside these lights. So you can see this is an aluminum board here, and it's got traces on it that aren't real easy to see. But we're going to go ahead and see if we can figure out why these aren't getting power, and hopefully I'll be able to show that to you. Unplug this so you can see. There are 3 banks of 9, like I had said, and your power comes in on, I do believe it's Z18 for this one that's dead. So we do have a ground. We did test that because we have these blue wires. So your blue is your power to your C2. Your red or your black is your ground. I do believe red is, and then you have these other two blue wires. This first blue wire that you come to here is C3. The next blue wire here is C4. So we do have power from all of these wires to their respective places here. I'm not sure if these are diodes or resistors. They're so tiny, I don't really know. So we aren't getting power from the C4 to this bank of LEDs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there and possibly resolder this, see if that holds. If resoldering this C4 here fixes it, that's great. If not, we're going to have to run a wire from the end of the C4 there over to, I think it is Z18. It's either Z18 or Z10. I'll have to recheck my ground. But you can figure out which one's power and ground because your ground is the black here. So you can do a continuity test and touch your black wire here, your pin, and you can touch it to, in this scenario, either the end of Z10 or the end of Z18. So, whichever one will give you the continuity will give you your ground, and then you just have to run power to the other side. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this would be the other side of your circuit. So we're going to go ahead and flow some solder around this diode or resistor, whatever they want to call this here, and we're going to go ahead and try that. If that doesn't work, then we're going to go ahead and run a new wire from there to the diode itself. Okay, so we went through and we tried to resolder that diode there, and it just didn't work. So we ended up having to run another wire here. And moment of truth, we're going to see if this is going to work now, which it should at this point. And there we go. So I'm going to glue that wire to the back of this board so that it doesn't wobble and get loose. And hopefully that fixes everything. So let's go ahead and we'll slide this over here a little bit. And we'll try to plug everything in, make sure everything still works. So it looks like all those boards are on there. Yep, those are all on. And then the marker light will still work on there as well. It just doesn't light up with the DRL being hooked up the way that it is. So we're going to have to epoxy this board back on here and clean all this glue back off of here and reseal this thing back up. So I have a lot of cleaning to do here, but wanted to show you guys what the inside of these headlights actually looked like. Nobody's ever really taken one of these apart and videoed it that I've seen, and I can see why. They are a complete nightmare to get apart. So if you have an LED that's out, if you are mechanically inclined, are able to tear one of these apart, take the time, tear it apart, re-glue it back together, do all that. By all means, you can. It seems like there was a problem in the board on this because we did have power at the connection that we needed, power from the plug, power to the diode, Reflowing the solder did not fix any of the issues here. However, adding the power wire from the power side of the diode to the beginning LED did turn it back on, as you can see. So that's it for this video, guys. This is the first time I've ever opened one of these up, so it seems like I've never done this before. That's because I never have. So wanted to show this to you. Wanted to get out there that you can open these headlights up. It's just a lot of work. I had a couple hours in getting this thing opened up, and I mean, they really glue these things on. So I got to go ahead and clean all this old glue off, and I have some LED headlight sealant from a retrofit company that I will use to seal this back up. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.